True story, when I was in 8th grade for a class invention project, I invented something. And not just like an 8th grader invented something for a project. I actually ended up coming up with something that had never been on the market before. And I realized it was special when all of my teachers confirmed that they had never seen anything like it. And I ended up making it as far as going to a patent attorney's office a couple years later and trying to pursue the idea, sitting down, having a conversation. The patent attorney told me how much exactly that would cost to get a patent, bring it to market, etc., etc. And I made a very critical decision in that moment that I can't spend that kind of money on that. It's not worth it. And I, quote unquote, killed the dream right then and there. Now, fast forward a couple years later, I see my invention on Shark Tank with someone else who ends up getting a bite or an investment from one of the sharks. And what I created back in 8th grade was brought to market. Now, was I crushed? Absolutely. Because I realized that was my idea. I had honestly forgotten about it until this memory resurfaced a couple weeks ago as I was listening to a podcast by Seth Godin, and he was talking about inventions and how people say this phrase, hey, they stole my idea. And he was confronting how audacious and quite bizarre and obnoxious it is for people to say, hey, they stole my idea, because you can't steal an idea if it's just that, an idea that's stuck in your head that you take no action on. So who are we to be condemning someone else that actually took it from ideation to tangible results, did all of the steps and work necessary on it to bring it and birth it into the world? And I realized what it was that stopped me years ago. Now, fast forward to a conversation I have this week with a friend who's sharing with me how she loves to bake cakes, and not just like shop and save giant gold cakes, right? They're the crazy cakes that you would see on television. And she doesn't sell them, she just makes them for her friends, and it's a really fun and creative outlet for her at this point. And as she tells me about it, she said that someone had mentioned to her, oh my gosh, you should sell these cakes, which boom, there's people that would want to buy this product. But then she whips out the list, and we all have the list, and it's the list of, we don't even need to call it excuses, okay? It's reasons, rationales in your head as to why you cannot move forward on this. And for this specific instance, it was her creating a business making cakes. So she started to say things like, I don't know enough about the cake industry to really do this. And I don't even know if I have cakes that are good enough to sell. And as she's going through these things, I realized, oh my gosh, her brain sounds a lot like my brain. And so I said, stop. Here's what we need to talk about, okay? And I have been learning recently that the brain is actually wired to prevent us from potential danger. So there's one warning sign that goes off to alert us, hey, there could be danger ahead. And I say could be danger because the brain doesn't know whether it's dangerous or not if you haven't stepped into it yet. But so what the brain does is alerts us in the form of a 4-letter word called fear. And fear actually triggers in our brains a lot earlier than it needs to, because they're saying, hey, hold on, there's potential danger ahead. And this is a critical moment, because the moment you recognize fear, which can come in the form of excuses, yada, yada, yada. I don't need to explain that to you. You know what I'm saying. When fear is triggered in your brain, you have one decision to make. And it's either to say, you're right, I shouldn't do it. Or 2, to say, thank you. Yes, there is fear involved. There could be risk involved. And I am choosing to move forward and do it anyways. If we start recognizing the patterns in our brain trying to alert us to fear and prevent us from moving forward, because there could be risk, there could be pain, there could be a ton of things that go wrong. But what could go right? What if we started flipping the perspective to what is the best thing that can happen? And I brought it back to her and I said, listen, when anyone enters the business of baking cakes, I can guarantee they don't know everything there is to know about baking cakes when they start, but they do it anyways. And also, I can guarantee that people don't actually know if their cakes are worth selling before they start, yet they do it anyways. And so it's challenged me to think about every aspect in my life. What could be a I did it anyways storyline that I can actually rewrite and turn into that? Something that's stopped me in the past. Maybe it's a dream that hasn't died. I didn't kill the dream like I did with that invention, but it's something that I've kept dormant and let fear hold me back to this point. I wonder if we can go into the attic of our mind and pull out these ideas that we have, bring them out of the dusty box, wipe it off, and say, yes, this fear has held me back, but I'm going to actually now take action on it and do it anyways. It's up to you. You're one decision away. So which one will you choose? I know that for me, from here on out, I'm deciding to rewrite the narrative. I'm going to thank my brain for warning me and trying to make sure that I don't enter dangerous territory, but that's not going to stop me. I'm going to say, yes, fear, I know you're there, but I've decided I'm going to charge forward anyways. Now, if you're someone who's already thinking about that and you're like, well, I don't know how to do it, then I guarantee you're going to want to watch this video down here because I go into that and how that one question doesn't need to stop you. So click there and I'll see you in the next video.